First of all, thanks to every one of you for coming here. It's been a long trip for me since the announcement of the following week to make it happen for real. I was talking at the Mott Invitationals to Josh McKnight. Josh is a 2012 Mott World Champion, and he was telling me, when I read about it, I thought, wow, it's a super cool idea, but it's almost too advanced, it's never going to happen. But we made it, and we made it because of you, because of the people that is coming here today, because of the sailors that are coming to do this event. The following week was born out of passion, of course, and the will to put together foiling enthusiasts. Because my feeling is that even though foiling has been around since basically 1906, when an Italian called Forlanini put a boat on Lake Como on foils, even though it was motor back then, and even though Graham Bell claims from US that he did it too. But more or less, it was like, it's almost a 100-year-old technology. But only in the last 10 years, we have seen foiling rising in interest in the sailing world. And I would say only in the last 2 years, with the America's Cup interest and other big boats foiling, we have seen that is possible, and then it can be used on far more boats than was initially thought possible. Now it's almost becoming it's almost maniac. There's you can see almost fin people trying to put foil in a fin just for the sake of it. So everybody's trying to foil. What I think is that somehow the technology is still at an early development stage, where the engineers need to work very closely with the sailors and listen to them for how to design and make this boat for real, because there is not a clear science there yet. So that's the reason mainly behind the Foiling Week, to put together the thinkers, the engineers, and the tinkerers, the people that play with the boats and that make modifications because they try the things on the water, so that we could compare the solutions that each of us have used to fly and to fly stable. These are the main two things about foiling. So we put together a fleet of foilers and a fleet of engineers. And we are here together to discuss and to see what the state of the art is, and to talk to each other to see if somebody else's solution can also work for other boats. So this is what the Foiling Week is about. I finished and I let Andrea, that is the chairman of the forum, to introduce the speakers and perhaps to say whatever he likes about the Foiling Week as well. Thanks again for coming.
Okay, thank you, Luca. And good morning to everybody. Let's start with the forum. I have to say that I was very pleased when the end of last year, Luca told me about this idea, and I found it very, very interesting. As you know, I'm Andrea Ratti, coming from Polytechnic of Milan. I'm a teacher, and so we are very used to manage the organization of forum, convention, and so on. But I have to say that this idea of Luca to collect and join together the research with sailors and having the possibility to discuss the last result of the research and have the possibility also to test the result of this research in the prototypes that we can have here. It's very, Lucas said, a cool idea, but I think that it's not only cool, but also very interesting, and develop in this field, I'm sure that is related to the possibility to have a quick exchange of information between practice and theory. So the idea when we discuss about the organization of the forum was to define which could be the most interesting topics in the world of Euler. And of course, it's very, very difficult to do this, because there's a several number of items that we can discuss on that, and we try to summarize in some session the possibility to discuss of that. So the first idea was to have a structure, as you saw in the final program. We divided the forum in 3 days, working in the morning, and we start with a keynote speech who has the role to introduce the topic of the morning of each day, and after that we divide it into section, a thematic section. The idea is to have the possibility to use time for all the speakers to introduce their presentation and collect the question at the end of the morning. Each morning we will have at least half an hour for discussion with all the speakers involved, and so I think that this could be one of the aim of the structure of this forum, to exchange ideas, to have several people involved in the research in filing application to discuss and to exchange these ideas. This is the structure of the 3 days. Of course, we decided to start with a survey of the history. The history of Euler is not so. It's quite recent, but in this last year we saw a very quick development on this. On the application and the way of use filing system to say. The second session is more focused on all the tools that could be used. Very nice. There
is the GC32 flying in no air.
No.
I was like,
he's making his own air. Okay, and this is, for example, this is a good example of we try to put in the third section that are solution studied on from the point of either hydrodynamic or hydrodynamic solution that can allow both flying that way, and also all the research activity done in this field. The last 2 sessions that we scheduled for the third day are more focused on the construction. So all the solutions that in this year have been developed for realize using composite material. Which of course help very much to obtain this result, reduce weight, and so in this application we know very well that it's very, very important. And last but not least is a matter concerned with the Salo, with the way in which we can work to optimize the use of this application. This could be, I think, a field in which in the following year could be there could be some further research. activities, and we can discuss on Thursday about that.